My husband is cheating on me with my best friend. Hey everyone, today we've got a long one, a dramatic story about betrayal, heartbreak, and how one woman's life was turned upside down after her husband cheated with her best friend. This is actually our longest video so far, and also a special one because it's the 25th video on our channel. If you enjoy this kind of content, please support us. Leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and drop a comment below. It really helps the channel grow. Thank you so much for being here. And now, let's get into the story. My husband and I have been together since I was 19, and he was 22. We've been married for 6 years now. We have 2 kids, and I'm pregnant with our third. Recently, I found out my dad has cancer. My mom passed away when I was 12. From the very beginning, my husband was supportive. He told me to step away from work so I could be there for my family. My best friend? She's been in my life since childhood. Our families were like one. But that morning when I went to wake up my husband, I saw a message from her on his phone. That's when I found out they were having an affair. It had been going on for 4 months, and that's where this whole story begins. The moment I realized my entire life was built on a lie, and I had to do something about it. Update number 1. I spent that whole morning collecting proof, screenshots, messages, anything I could find. To keep him from suspecting, I used my dad's hospice care folder as a cover. I thought about going back to work, but first I went to see a lawyer. He confirmed what I needed to hear. My husband had no right to my inheritance, not from my mom and not from my dad. While he was at work, I sat down with his mom and my best friend's mom. I told them everything. They were furious. We cried together. Later, I met with the lawyer again. We discussed finances, legal strategy, the plan. I was getting ready to fight all the way. Update number 2. To make this easier, let me introduce everyone. My husband, Tyler. My ex-best friend, Jess's mom. Angie, Jess's dad. Bob, Jess's brother. Jake, my mother-in-law. Ruth, my father-in-law. Joe and my dad. Just dad. I went to my OB. Baby's doing fine. I had some tests done. Still waiting on results. I also met with my lawyer again. We reviewed Tyler's finances, made sure everything was ready. If things go according to plan, the divorce papers should be ready within a month. Angie and Ruth told me how their talk with Jess and Tyler went. All 4 parents were livid. They've cut ties with both of them. I've moved with the kids into my dad's house. Tyler showed up looking for us, but we had already left for the cabin in the woods. He later tried to break into my dad's house and was arrested. I started therapy for myself and soon for the kids. My lawyer told me to collect all the messages Jess sent me. She keeps begging me to fix things, blaming me for stealing Tyler from her. Tyler, on the other hand, keeps begging for forgiveness. He doesn't know yet that I've filed for divorce. He'll find out when he gets served. I doubt Tyler and Jess will last now that their families cut them off. Jake, Jess's brother, is home on military leave. He's been helping with the kids with Dad, and he's firmly on my side. Thank you to everyone supporting me. Your kindness means more than you know. Update number 3. Tyler found my post. He asked if it was true. Was I really divorcing him? I told him yes. Once again, he begged me to forgive him. I'm still meeting regularly with my lawyer to make sure everything stays on track. Jake has been amazing, helping, supporting, just being there. My dad's condition has gotten worse. He's in the hospital now. The kids have started therapy to help them adjust to everything. I'm still pregnant. A few months left to go. Update number 4. My dad passed away, and just like that, another chapter closed. My marriage is officially over. Tyler was served the divorce papers, and he agreed to everything. I was granted full custody of the kids. He only gets visitation rights. Therapy is ongoing for me and the kids. The pregnancy is going well. Baby's healthy and strong. Ruth and Angie, Tyler's mom and Jess's mom, are still in my life. They've been helping out so much. They never left my side. Jake is back on active duty now, but we still talk often. He continues to support me in every way he can. There might be something more between us, but we're not rushing anything. As for Tyler and Jess, they're no longer together. He left her, and her own family completely cut her off. Update number 5. The baby is here. He came a little early, but he didn't need NICU care. He weighed 5 pounds 9 ounces, measured 19 inches, and he's absolutely perfect. Angie was in the delivery room with me, while Ruth stayed with my older kids. My 2 older ones are obsessed with their baby brother. Seeing them together fills my heart with joy. For the first 6 weeks, Ruth and Angie have been taking turns staying overnight with me. I told them they didn't have to, but they insisted. Honestly, I'm so grateful. I couldn't do this without them. I've been feeling waves of postpartum depression. My mood has been unstable, but my therapist knows and we're working through it. What really hits me hardest is knowing this baby will never meet my dad. He's the only grandchild my father didn't get to hold, and that thought just breaks me. Jake was planning to serve 2 more years before retirement, but he was offered early retirement, not because of me, but due to something internal at his job. He accepted it. Within 6 months, he'll be back home. He's trying to find a place to live now, but since he can't take leave to view houses, he might stay with me temporarily. Not permanently. Don't worry, he'll probably rent a place first and then buy a house later. Meanwhile, Tyler's already angry. He's upset I didn't let him in the delivery room when the baby was born. If you want more details, I'll share them later. I'm just too exhausted right now. Thank you all. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for listening, for supporting me, for being here. I love you all. I hope life treats you kindly. Until next time. Update number 6, answering your questions and a small life update. Hi everyone. I can't believe it's been nearly 2 months since I last posted. I've missed sharing with you, but life's been a lot. Let's start with a few answers to the most common questions. Are Tyler's parents still in contact with him? Number. My mother-in-law cut him off completely. Full-on no contact. My father-in-law only speaks to him when it's time for supervised visits with the kids. Did Tyler cheat on you with anyone else besides Jess? As far as I know, there was one other woman. I briefly mentioned it in one of my older comments. If there were more, honestly, I don't want to know. I really don't care anymore. Aren't you worried that Jake might still talk to Jess? They're siblings, after all. They've had a terrible relationship since they were kids. Even when we were all still in touch, they barely spoke to each other. They never got along. And honestly, now I realize how toxic she was toward him. They don't have any contact now. What do you tell the kids? Only my oldest is old enough to somewhat understand. I sat both kids down and told them, Mom and Dad aren't together anymore. Dad made some choices I couldn't agree with. That means he won't be living with us anymore. But you can still love him, see him, and spend time with him. It might feel confusing, and that's okay. The important thing is that we both love you very much, and that will never change. Then I asked if they had questions. My oldest asked a few. I answered honestly but gently. They're both still seeing a therapist. If they want to talk, they come to me, but I don't push. My goal is simple. I will never turn my children against their father. He's their dad. I won't add more pain to their hearts. Do you have a Venmo or Amazon wish list? You're all so sweet, and your offers mean the world to me. But I'm okay. I have a solid inheritance and an amazing support system. If you'd like to help, please donate to your local women's shelter. I know that, if not for my circumstances, I could have been one of those women. So I donate regularly and I volunteer with my kids. Now for the actual update. As many of you already saw in the comments, yes, the baby is here. He came a little early, but didn't need NICU. He was 5 pounds 9 ounces, 19 inches long, and absolutely perfect. Angie, Jess's mom, was in the delivery room with me. My mother-in-law stayed home with the kids. My older 2 are obsessed with their baby brother, and my heart just melts watching them together. Angie and my mother-in-law take turns staying over and helping me during the day. They insisted, even when I said they didn't have to. I'm incredibly grateful for them. I can feel postpartum depression creeping in. My mental health hasn't been the best, but I'm working through it with my therapist. What breaks me most is knowing this baby will never know my dad, will never feel his love. He's the only grandchild my father never got to hold. I miss him so much it physically hurts. Jake was planning to serve 2 more years before retiring, but due to an unrelated situation at work, not because of me, he was offered early retirement. He accepted. He'll be moving back home within the next 6 months. He's trying to find a place now, but since he can't take leave, he might stay with me temporarily. No, not permanently. He'll likely rent at first, then buy a house. Tyler, of course, already caused drama. I texted him in advance to say I was in labor, but I didn't want him there. He freaked out, saying I stole the moment of seeing my child be born. I turned off my phone and focused on staying calm. He still showed up at the hospital and security had to escort him out. He wasn't violent, just refused to leave, even after I told the nurses I didn't want him there. Ironically, I'm a nurse at that very hospital. He hasn't shown up to any visits since. At first, I sent him baby photos and updates. He ignored them, and then blocked my number. A month later, I asked my father-in-law to check on him. Despite everything, he's still the father of my kids, and I needed to know he was okay. Turns out, he has a new girlfriend and told his dad he no longer wants to be a parent. He even tried to deny paternity, even though he's the only man I've ever been with. Surprisingly, the kids took it pretty well. And no, I didn't tell them the horrible things he said. Why would I? They don't need that pain. Now, let's talk about Jake. He's been amazing. He sent my favorite takeout to the hospital, FaceTimes me regularly, texts with the kids, never oversteps, never pressures. He even surprised me with a postpartum massage. Arranged everything, even a sitter. It was the calmest moment I've had in months. He sends little gifts and food on tough days. He's a breath of fresh air. And I won't lie, I'm counting the days till he comes home in 3 months. As for me, I'm still in therapy. It's been crucial, especially for grieving my dad. Sometimes I just sit in his old office, surrounded by his scent, and cry. He was an incredible man, and I'm so grateful he was mine. Angie and my mill are absolute angels. Even my father-in-law and Angie's husband have been kind and supportive. And here's the truth. I don't miss Tyler. I don't grieve the end of that marriage. What I feel is relief. Yes, I'm sad for the kids, but honestly, I think I spent too long holding my breath, walking on eggshells. Now, I can finally breathe. Therapy helped me take off the rose-colored glasses. As strange as it sounds, I'm almost thankful he cheated. Because if he hadn't, I might have never left. That's why I stayed so calm and methodical through it all. I knew it was over. Next week, I return to work. I think I'm ready to step back into stability, into life. It hurts that my dad won't see it. But I'm starting a new chapter, a chapter of healing, self-love, and finding peace in the chaos. Thank you for walking this journey with me, for your kindness, your stories, your support. I love you, internet friends. Have a beautiful day. And yes, I'll update again. Comment on Jess. No one's talked to her in months. She tried reaching out to me, tried blaming Tyler, making excuses. I didn't respond. She even downloaded new apps to get around the block. Her own divorce went terribly. Her ex had proof of multiple affairs. They were already separated when she started seeing Tyler. No, I was never the kind of friend you could confess cheating to. And she knew that, even though her ex wasn't perfect. It's nice to see karma work. Comment on Tyler. Trying to come back. My therapist says he's just trying to manipulate me. He thinks if he hurts the kids enough, I'll cave and come back for the family. Comment on parental rights. In our state, you can't just give up your kids unless someone else is willing to adopt them. If that were an option, I would have let him sign away his rights. But that's not how it works. Update number 7. A Christmas surprise from Jake. Merry Christmas, everyone, or whatever holiday you celebrate. I hope it's beautiful and filled with peace. This morning I was woken up by my kids yelling, "Santa came," and he brought Uncle Jake. Jake is home, for good, and I'm just beyond happy, over the moon, wishing you all a blessed and magical day. Love you, friends. Update number 8. Hey, friends. February 9th, 2024. Hi again. I finally have an update for you. But first, I wanted to answer a few questions that kept popping up before I dive into the Jake part. Is Tyler still not seeing the kids? He's completely out of the picture. He won't even respond to his own father anymore. And his dad was trying to mediate so Tyler didn't have to talk to me directly. Apparently, his new girlfriend gave him an ultimatum, and he chose her over the kids because I refused to communicate through someone I've never even met. For the record, I had offered to go through a third party, someone I and the kids actually know, like Tyler's aunt, who's divorced and stayed neutral. But that didn't work for them, so now it's radio silence. He didn't see the kids for Christmas, not for New Year's. And sometime after the holidays, he stopped all contact completely. I'm doing my best, juggling the kids and work, but I'm so grateful for the help I have. My Mel and Angie take turns watching the kids while I'm at work. Both of them are retired. Some days I come home to a clean house, smiling kids and dinner on the stove. It's priceless. Major respect to all the single parents out there doing it without any help, from their ex or from family. You are real-life warriors. Now, about Jake, let's just say we're kind of seeing each other. I put that in quotes because we go on dates, we spend time together, but we're not calling it a relationship yet. He kissed me at midnight on New Year's. I know, sounds cliche, but it meant a lot to me. I'm not ready for anything serious. Sometimes we go out, but most of the time we're just with the kids. Movie nights, parks, playtime at home. The kids adore him, and he adores them. I have so many pictures of him holding the baby, trying to rock him to sleep, only to pass out next to him. Jake never rushes me. He's patient, gentle, never pushes. Honestly, I feel so lucky. I even told him he's free to date someone else if he wants. He looked at me like I had slapped him and said, "You're the only woman I want." Sometimes I feel a little guilty, like he's healing a heart he didn't break. But he always tells me he'll wait as long as I need. I waited to post this because I wanted his permission to share what could be the start of our story. He read through all my posts and comments. He seemed kind of proud about how many of you are rooting for him. Now he jokes about it, like, "Nice to know your internet family approves of me." He even made a Reddit account with my blessing, just to follow along. He hasn't commented yet, but maybe he will someday. Hope you're all having a lovely day. Talk soon. Extra comments from OOP. On Tyler and child support. He wasn't paying at first, but right after the holidays I talked to my family lawyer. They said one of the best ways to get full custody and terminate rights is to file for support. If a parent doesn't pay and shows no interest for a full year, it legally counts as abandonment. Then I can petition the court to terminate his rights, and he won't be able to come back later and demand anything. We'll be eligible to file in 90 days. He's furious that he won't get a dime of my inheritance, so I doubt he'll pay anything at all. And if he does, it's going straight into savings for the kids, for when they're older. On the kids, they seem okay. They're still in therapy, and they'll stay in therapy until they're ready to stop and the therapist agrees. At Christmas, they asked if Dad would be there. I gently told them no, and they just accepted it. They haven't asked again since. Sometimes I wonder if he really was the great dad I thought he was, because the kids let go a little too easily. Update number 9, almost 1 year later. Hi, friends. Can you believe it's been almost a whole year since I first posted here? In just 2 weeks, it'll mark the anniversary of the morning I found out about my ex's affair. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who's been with me on this journey. You've truly been a blessing, whether it was advice, kind words, or just listening. I feel incredibly lucky to have found this little community. 3. Okay, let's get into the updates. And yes, the Jake update is at the end, for those of you who've been missing him. So first, I was planning to update sooner, but if you saw Jake's comment, You'll know, I got locked out of my Reddit account. Someone changed the password and the email. Guess who? Not Tyler. It was Jess. Let's rewind to about a month ago. I was making dinner for Jake and the kids. He was out in the backyard playing with them. Suddenly, the front door opened. At first, I thought it was one of the grandmas, Angie or my ex-Mill. They both have keys and help me often. But nope. I looked up, and Jess was in my kitchen. I was holding a knife, chopping carrots, and I pointed it toward her and told her to get out of my house before I called the police. I didn't care how she got in. My doors are always locked. Call it paranoia, but I don't play around. I just wanted her gone. I'd figure out the rest later. She started screaming, calling me a psycho for threatening her with a knife. Jake heard the yelling and ran inside. He thought she was hurting me and immediately jumped in to pull her away. Even though she was like 30 feet away, he wasn't taking any chances. He shoved her out the door while she shrieked that I ruined her life, and she just wanted to ask for forgiveness. Then she called the police, said we lured her there, claimed I tried to stab her, and that Jake assaulted her. She had no evidence. I have cameras all around the outside of my house, and inside too, in every room. We showed the footage, and the cops took her away. Since then, Jake has stayed with us every night. After that, she hacked into all my social media, including Reddit, and started posting awful things pretending to be me. Thank God she didn't get to post anything here before we stopped her. She also filed fake complaints to my work. I'm a nurse at the local hospital. I was suspended for a week, but after the investigation, I was reinstated. Everything I told them checked out. I filed for a protective order for me and the kids. She even tried to pick up my oldest daughter from school. Luckily, I had already warned the school who's allowed to pick up the kids. They stopped her, called security, and kept my daughter safe until I arrived. We now have an emergency restraining order, and the court date for a permanent one is in a month. Apparently, she still had an old key, probably from when we were kids. I've since changed all the locks. Tyler? Still completely silent. Not a word. Last week during dinner, my oldest daughter quietly said, "I wish Jake was my real dad, because my real one never played with me, and he was mean when you weren't around." That's why the kids adjusted so easily when Tyler disappeared. It broke my heart. Through my ex-Mill, I found out he's already remarried and expecting a baby. They even sent out wedding and baby shower invites. Honestly, I feel sorry for his new wife. The kids are doing great. They're still seeing their therapist, and she's thrilled with their progress. My oldest has even started talking about calling Jake Dad, but I'm not quite ready for that step. Jake told me, when we get married, I'll adopt them officially. But that's a conversation for the future. My middle child doesn't even remember Tyler. He's my sunshine, always cheerful, always laughing. And the baby, he's babbling, smiling, giggling already. Can you believe it? I feel so blessed to have these little ones. And Jake, oh, Jake, I've never been this happy. He got nervous because people in the comments were asking if we were still together and insisted I post an update. He's officially my boyfriend now. Though according to him, "You've always been my girl." He sleeps over almost every night, says it's in case Jess shows up again. But I think he just can't stay away from the kids. When he's at work, he texts the grandmas to check in on the kids, asks for pictures, says he misses them. He even came with me to a few therapy sessions, just to understand how to build a stronger relationship between us. He's honestly perfect. I'm so lucky. Update number 10, court hearing. Hey guys, just popping in quickly while I have a rare moment of peace in the chaos. We had the court hearing for the restraining order. If you missed that part, check the last update. I didn't get a permanent RO. In our state, you can only get that if there's an ongoing threat to your life. But I did get a 7-year order, and honestly, I'm happy with that. If she ever tries to come near me again, I'll file again. And she could be arrested. But for now, I think it's time to close the chapter on Jess. I won't be writing about her anymore, not even under a fake name. I don't want to give her any ammo or risk violating the order. Now, for the good news, Jake and I decided, since he basically lives here already and his apartment is just a glorified storage unit, he's officially moving in. And before anyone says, "Isn't that too fast?" I've known Jake my entire life. That's not an exaggeration. This isn't rushed. This is something I feel completely safe and sure about. Tyler, still silent. Zero contact. The kids are healthy, loved, and happy. That's what matters most. Sorry this is short and a bit messy, but I'm running on empty right now. Between sleepless nights, lawyers, court, work, and the kids' activities, I'm just doing my best. Love you all. Thanks for still being here. A whole year later, P.S. Yes, the kids are covered under the restraining order too. I knew you'd ask. Well, that's the end of this story. Unfortunately, there haven't been any more updates since, but I think we all get the picture. Let's wish the woman behind this story the best going forward. She's been through a lot, and she's still standing. And now I'd love to hear from you. What do you think about all of this? Could you ever forgive something like this? And what would you do if your best friend tried to take your husband? Let's talk in the comments. I read everything you write. And if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might relate. See you in the next video. Take care.